Greetings, comrades. Today I'll be discussing some of the developments in the Arab Spring movement in the Middle East and North Africa. In Syria, the Assad regime is still clinging to power despite continuing protests against his government. The struggle against the regime has evolved in recent months from mass protests to the beginning of an armed insurrection in the country in the form of a so-called Free Syrian Army and other armed groups. The Free Syrian Army is made up of former army officers and military personnel, and its stated goal is to protect the protesters from the violence from the state security forces. They have described these security forces as gangs that protect the regime and that they will be targeted by the group. The other groups are a series of small militias, some of whom are said to be Islamist. The extent of the operations of these groups is not yet fully known, though the Syrian government has accused them of killing over 400 security personnel, and they are believed to be at least 1,000 armed militants strong. Despite an intense government crackdown and many lost lives, as many as 2,000 civilians, the opposition has begun to organise on a national scale, reportedly through decentralised local revolutionary committees who have been coordinating mass action, spreading propaganda, and actively seeking the involvement of minorities such as Christians in the revolution. Marxists should regard this as a very positive development. These committees, which are run independently from any political grouping, are a sign of the ability of the working people of Syria to organise themselves and their willingness to unite irrespective of religion in the face of increasingly sectarian religious elements in the protest movement. The working people must seek to oppose sectarianism and the violence it brings in the name of bringing down the fascist Ba'ath Party. They must seek to strengthen the power and the scope of the local committees into revolutionary workers' councils and integrate the military armed groups into a people's militia, in order to protect the revolution from the state and from foreign imperialism. The several leftist groups in the Syrian opposition, the Syrian People's Democratic Party, the Workers' Revolutionary Party, the Communist Party of Labour, and others, should seek to create a united front, giving the working class strong representation it will need in the ongoing revolution. And I urge revolutionary comrades around the world to encourage this, to get in contact with our Syrian comrades any way you can and help spread their message, their news, and link them up with your own groups if possible. Remembering that the struggle for the revolution will continue a long time after the regime falls, it is vital that the working class be armed ideologically, militarily, and organisationally in order to assert itself against the reactionary movements and the imperialist vultures. Only with a strong Marxist movement will the working people of Syria truly achieve liberation. In Egypt, the revolution also continues but faces many threats, from the military caretaker government and reactionary factions vying for control of Egypt's future. The government continues its harsh austerity measures as well as cracking down on the workers' rights and free press, and with increasingly unfavourable economic conditions, class struggle is becoming acute across the country. Representing the workers in the coalition of socialist forces are the Revolutionary Socialists, the Communist Party of Egypt, the Socialist Party of Egypt, the Workers' Democratic parties, and the Popular Democratic Alliance Party. I urge these comrades to maintain a revolutionary stance and to work closely with the workers in the face of repression from the government. The most dangerous element facing the Egyptian workers is that of the military, still very much in a position of authority despite the fall of Hosni Mubarak, and they will no doubt try and influence the outcome of the revolution in their favour, i.e. a government that sides with imperialism and Zionism. President Saleh has yet to return to Yemen after leaving hospital in Saudi Arabia, but his regime is still intact. Protests continue, armed struggle from both protesters and Al-Qaeda is costing many lives, and the government's control over the country is tenuous. Still, Saleh's opposition is fractured, consisting of diverse groups of Islamists, socialists, Nasserites, and others, and unless that opposition finds a way to unify, the country risks falling into major internal conflict. As always, we should support the Yemeni Socialist Party, the former leading party in the former working state of South Yemen, and the organised working class in their struggle. In Libya, the caretaker government of the NTC has seen fit to begin rewarding its NATO allies with lucrative oil deals. Marx has condemned this act. As an unelected government, the NTC has no right to give away the country's resources, while the people have no say in the terms of the deals. This constitutes theft, and is part of a pattern of looting of the resources carried out by the forces of Western imperialism across the Third World. The NTC has proven itself to be aligned with bourgeois interests and NATO, and clearly not those of the working people of Libya. Revolutionaries of the Arab world also have another danger to face in the form of infiltration into revolutionary organizations by agents of Western imperialism. The CIA has shown to have been funded certain opposition groups, and no doubt is conducting espionage in the region as we speak. The US seeks to create a favourable outcome in the revolutions to further solidify its hold in the region, in a manner comparable with the so-called democracies in parts of South America. They will continue to support groups and governments supportive of free trade with the West, with peace with Israel and friendly ties to Saudi Arabia, and NATO is willing to use any force to achieve this, either directly as in Libya or using proxy forces like in Bahrain. The struggle that the Arab people face will be arduous. They will need to draw much courage and unity against the many obstacles they will face. I'll be making more videos on this and going deeper into the subject as time goes on. Red salutes, comrades.